What's up everyone, and welcome to a re-upload. That's kind of a weird intro. So if you've subbed to my channel and seen this before, you may be wondering why I'm uploading part 1 of this scenario again. Well, it's because of YouTube being YouTube. I had some music copyrighted in that video, which was kind of my fault, and at first YouTube just demonetized it, but for some reason now the audio is gone entirely for a brief portion of the video. So to fix that issue, I'm going to re-upload this part, and I'll include the retcon that fixed the issue with part 1 as well, if you guys remember that. Forgive me if the audio and my voiceover are terrible here. This is one of my first videos on the channel when I was still in that awkward beginning phase. But I included some new plot points in the video, and you'll be able to tell which stuff that is that was newly recorded. Otherwise, the rest of the video is going to remain the same with editing and everything. This is just a re-upload and it's not supposed to be anything special. So without further ado, enjoy this re-uploaded and partially improved part 1. And yeah, I'm listening to the audio of this video too, and I was sick during the recording of it, so that just goes to show the quality of it. So excuse me if my voice sounded weird, like, what was this, back in April? I don't know, whatever. I just hope it doesn't get struck down by the copyright filters this time. On Namek, as we know from the iconic scene, Frieza killed Krillin, which sent Goku into a blind rage and allowed him to become the legendary Super Saiyan. Well, legendary with a lowercase l, I mean, it's a big difference. The big L, little l, anyways. However, this time we're going to look at what would happen if Gohan was killed by Frieza instead of Krillin. Like in the original story, everything on Namek remains the same for most of the arc. Goku uses the Spirit Bomb against Frieza and everyone celebrates because everyone thinks it works. To their shock, Frieza climbs out of the crater that the Spirit Bomb made and he shoots a beam through Piccolo's chest, gravely injuring him. Things start to change over here. Gohan gets visibly angry by this, because Piccolo is one of his friends after all, and he's visibly upset by this, and he starts shouting at Frieza, diverting Frieza's attention towards him. My, it appears one of the monkeys is getting a bit rowdy. Yeah, I hope you like my Frieza impression, another one to add to the list. Instead of Krillin, Frieza starts to lift Gohan up into the air. Due to Gohan's power and little bit of a rage boost that he has right now, he's able to resist it for a bit, but this would only prolong the whole thing, because Goku and Krillin can't really do anything right now as they're just watching horror. Frieza closes his hand and Gohan explodes in the air, killing him instantly. Krillin is in absolute disbelief, and he's horrified by what he just saw, but Goku's feeling a little bit different. Goku is immensely angry, even more so than he was in the original. Of course, Krillin was his best friend, and seeing him die sent him into a rage, but seeing his son, who's an innocent kid, being killed by Frieza, that just pushed him even farther. This is worse than seeing his best friend die. Goku's hair starts to glow as he violently twitches, and in a shorter time span than the original, Goku is able to turn into a Super Saiyan. Albeit due to his rage, he transforms in a more violent manner. Also due to his rage, he gets a little bit of a boost in power, which we'll get into a little bit later. Goku glares at Krillin and tells him to get Bulma and leave, and Krillin obliges right away. Seeing his friend look like that scared him more than anything. He looked animalistic rather than the Goku he knew. So Krillin grabs Piccolo and goes off to find Bulma like Gohan did, and they go to leave Namek. Since we have power levels at this point, we can still see the difference in power, and we can look at it through numbers. At this point in the story, Goku had a power of 150 million in his Super Saiyan form, while Frieza was at 120 million at 100% power. He was weaker than Goku in the original, so he didn't stand a chance even then, but this time Goku's power level is around 180 million, a 20% increase because of his heightened rage. Goku also decides not to show Frieza any mercy this time, also due to the rage. After Frieza deals the finishing blow to Namek, this only causes Goku to be angered even more. So here's where I want to stop myself. In the original video, I never included this, and I ended up having to retcon and include it in a separate video, but I'm going to splice it in here so things make sense. Originally, I said that Frieza killed Gohan. However, we're going to change it a bit and say that he gravely injured Gohan instead, similar to what he did to Piccolo. Gohan was able to resist Frieza's attack better than Krillin, and instead of being completely blown up by it, he barely survives it. Frieza struggles with trying to kill the kid, and instead he just launches a powerful blast that sends him flying off in the opposite direction. Krillin evacuates the area with Piccolo, as he tries to find Gohan since he can still sense Gohan's energy, even though it's very faint. While Goku continues fighting with Frieza, the wishes are made to revive everyone killed by him and to bring everyone currently on Namek to Earth. And since Gohan's still alive, he's brought back to Earth, but he's pretty much still dying. By the time he does arrive to Earth, it's too late. There's no way to help him in time or get Senzu beans, and this is how Gohan actually ends up dying. The reason I'm including this is because in the original upload, I said Gohan died right away, but if he died right away, then the wish to revive everyone on Namek would have just brought him back as well, and that would make this what if pretty pointless since not much would change from the original story. The retcon was kinda sloppy, but so was the whole writing for this original part since it was one of my earlier videos, so I apologize. With that out of the way, let's get back to the original video itself. Blinded by rage at the loss of his son, and of the eventual loss of Namek, and all the pointless lives that Frieza took, Goku quickly beats Frieza down and decides to kill him, with ease this time. Frieza is completely vaporized, and he's actually dead this time, so we don't have Mecha Frieza, which we'll get to a little bit later. Since he finished the battle quicker too, although not by much, Goku's able to find the ship and escapes into space before the planet explodes, instead of it being at the last second, so it's pretty clear that he survives this. The ship flies off to Yardrat as Namek explodes. On Earth, everyone of course is concerned. Gohan is dead, and everyone assumes Goku is as well, and this is especially bad for Krillin because, like when Goku died against Raditz, he's the one who has to break the news to Chi-Chi, and that's probably the worst part of all this for him. As we know though, Goku is on Yardrat, but Gohan is in a different place. Alongside Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu, Gohan's in pretty good company, because he just made it past Snake Way all the way to King Kai's planet, and he's preparing to train there. So of course, like the original, everyone on Earth waits a couple of months for the Dragon Balls to reactivate, because they need to wait for the Namekian year to pass. During this time, however, on King Kai's planet, there's a little bit more strenuous training going on. See, Gohan, after seeing Goku's power with Kaioken, he kind of wanted to learn that himself, and that encouraged the other humans on the planet to learn that. So during this time period, Gohan, Tien, Yamcha, and Chaozu all trained to learn the Kaioken with King Kai. All the while Goku's on Yardrat doing his thing learning instant transmission, which happens like normal. So, a Namekian year passes and the Dragon Balls are brought forth. Porunga is summoned, and like usual, they try to wish for Goku back, only to find out he's still alive, and he can't be brought back because he wants to come back on his own terms. King Kai sends a transmission to Bulma and Krillin telling them Gohan needs a little bit more time training with him because he wants to see what his full potential really is. But he tells them they can revive the other humans because they do have 3 wishes and there's 3 of them that need to be revived. In the original, Tien didn't want to be brought back because he felt like he needed to do some more training with King Kai, but this time because Gohan was there and they started learning the Kaioken, he feels like he's had enough training, so of course Chaozu goes back with him too, and Yamcha, like in the original, he goes back. Those 3 are brought back to life, and we can see the fruits of their training. They all have access to Kaioken times 2, with Tien and Yamcha being on the verge of Kaioken times 3 because, sadly, Chaozu is pretty much weaker than both of them and he probably wouldn't be able to handle anything past that, unless he trains a little bit more. Of course they train in the meantime, and another Namekian year passes. This time, they're actually allowed to bring Gohan back because King Kai feels like he's finished his training with him. So Gohan is brought back to life, and we can see he has Kaioken times 4, but he still needs a little bit more practice with it. You see, he has the Saiyan physiology that the other humans don't have, so I'm sure his body would be more capable of handling the stress. And of course, every time he uses it, he will be beat down even more, and then he'll come back and get a Zenkai boost, so it keeps snowballing until he's able to use it more effectively. And while they did have another wish to bring Namek back, there's still one extra wish that's remaining. Piccolo decides that they should wish for Kami's youth, similar to what King Piccolo did in the original Dragon Ball, where he regained his youth and he became a lot stronger. This would be beneficial because, well, Kami's pretty old, and wishing his youth back would make him a lot stronger and probably able to make the Dragon Balls stronger too, similar to how the Namekian Dragon Balls are, so this would only be beneficial for them. And it also becomes very important later on, and you could probably see where I'm going with this, but that's for another part. While Kami isn't present there, he does know what's going on because he can listen into what's happening. And of course, he thinks this is a great idea. It's only beneficial for everyone, especially him. I mean, he is a god after all, it would be good if he's a little bit stronger. So, they decide to wish for his youth back, and he notices right away the dramatic increase in power. All his wrinkles go away, and he starts to resemble Piccolo a little bit more because he does have his youth back after all. He's delighted to see the dramatic increase in power, and he's now a lot more useful than he was before, and he gets to work on improving the Dragon Balls, similar to how the Namekian ones are. Now that those 2 wishes are settled and everyone's revived, the Namekians get their planet back. Well, their new planet. And they go off to that like in the original. And of course, Vegeta goes off to another planet like in the original to train. If Kakarot gets to train, he should too. He wants to be as strong as him, if not stronger. Especially since Goku, a low-class warrior of all people, has the Super Saiyan form, but he, the prince, doesn't. So that wouldn't change because of course Vegeta would want to pursue that form. Back in space, King Cold is kinda confused. He hasn't heard from his son in a while and he wants to know what's going on. I mean, surely he couldn't have lost to some simple monkey, no. So he flies off to where Namek is, or was, only to find that nothing's there, not even Frieza. He equips the scouter, tries to contact him or even just to scan for his power, and he can't see anything. He assumes the worst and he knows Frieza is dead. However, he did hear something interesting before. See, he still knows who Frieza fought. He knows it was a Saiyan known as Goku, and because of Vegeta traveling to Earth before, he knows that Goku lives on that planet. Although disappointed that his son lost to a Saiyan of all people, he's obviously still pretty angry, so he travels to Earth to enact his revenge. Time passes and everyone's still training. The humans want to boost their Kaioken, Vegeta's off on some planet training to become a Super Saiyan, Goku's on Yardrat, and Gohan, well, he's a little different. While he does have Kaioken, he knows about the Super Saiyan form too, and he wants to pursue that himself. He's angered that he wasn't able to protect himself last time. He could have avoided that death if he was a little bit stronger. That's why he wanted to learn Kaioken. He didn't want to be helpless anymore. For all he knows, they could have stopped Frieza earlier on if they just killed him right away if he had some sort of power boost like Kaioken or Super Saiyan. On King Kai's planet, he worked with King Kai to try to at least tap into the form. Of course, he wasn't able to do it at this point, but he was able to do it for a little bit. His hair turned gold, but he couldn't quite hold the form. He needs some sort of catalyst to fully unlock it, kind of like Goku had, or at least some more intense training, but at this point in the story, he's not going to have it yet. That's going to come a little bit later, and we'll get into that in the next part. For now, he has his Kaioken, and similar to the humans, he's trying to improve that, because he does know he could push it farther, up to 20 times at least. One day during their training, they sense a huge power level coming in. It feels similar to Frieza, but not quite like him. And they thought Frieza was dead, but no. Something else is coming. This is not Frieza. They all travel to where they sense the power level coming from, and they see a ship descending. Out walks someone that looks like Frieza, but not really. Before King Cold even does anything, something unexpected happens. All of his soldiers fall to the ground, and all he sees is a purple-haired boy standing there with a sword. Oh, and who are you? I'm a Super Saiyan, and the one who's here to kill you. It's none other than Trunks, who's arrived from the future to help save the past. But he's a little confused though. Where's Frieza? Only King Cold is here. From what he knows, Frieza and King Cold came here with Frieza's new mecha form, but he doesn't see Frieza anywhere. He powers up to Super Saiyan, and everyone, especially Vegeta, is shocked to see that this random guy that just came here is a Super Saiyan. First Kakarot and then this nobody? Why is everyone becoming a Super Saiyan all of a sudden? Trunks makes quick work of King Cold, and the deed is done. Goku then arrives, and this is where we're going to leave it off for now. You know, I'll admit, that was kind of cringy to edit for me. I mean, a good side of it is it shows how much my quality has improved since then, especially with mic quality, because that was just terrible. But yeah, this is just a quick re-upload to fix that audio issue that happened in the first part due to the copyright. But other than that, I didn't change anything else in the story other than including the retcon. Normally here I'd ask for suggestions for what would happen in the next part, but this series already continued with like 4 other parts already, so that would be a little pointless to ask. But if you want to, you can check out the next 4 parts of this series, and I'm going to be continuing it more in the future. And don't worry, those next few parts don't have the mistakes of the first part, and they get a lot higher quality as you go on, so you don't have to listen to this awful voice that I had here. But yeah, hopefully this helped alleviate that issue. So I'm sorry for the re-upload, but a lot of people did ask for it, so I wanted to end up doing this. Anyways, thank you all for watching if you got to the end. And be sure to catch up with the series if you haven't already. As always, remember to drop a like and subscribe if you liked this video. And make sure to hit the bell icon to be notified of any future videos of mine, including parts of this What If. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.